Good evening, America. This is Channel 10 News. Tonight we will be talking about pop culture, civil rights movement, and some new inventions. We even have an interview with the Beatles. And here is Hope with things to do over your weekend.
Thanks, Emily. Well, I hope you start planning your Saturday night with telling you new movies right out of Hollywood. In the movie The Apartment, Jet Lemon plays a vulnerable office worker trying to move up the ladder. His uncaring boss, played by Frank McMurray, starts to help him move along when he starts falling for a young elevator operator, played by Shirley MacLaine, who was once his boss's girlfriend. Directed and written by Billy Wilder, it's a movie that has the right touches of drama, sadness, and humor. If you're more the action type, Bonnie and Clyde is right for you. It is themed in the middle of the Great Depression when Clyde Barrow, played by Warren Beatty, meets Bonnie Parker, played by Faye Dunaway, when he attempts to steal Bonnie's mother's car. Bonnie, who is sick of her job as a waitress, intrigued by Clyde, decides to become his partner in crime. Together they do some uppulls and end up robbing a bank. A well-filmed movie that is thrilling and suspenseful. If you're taking small children out to the movies, I suggest you go see Mary Poppins, which is about a very proper British family that hires a new nanny that happens to be mysteriously fun. Mary and her chimney-sweeping friends, played by a joyful Dick Van Dyke, takes two young children a magical journey through the chalk paintings, merry-go-round races, and a roofs on London. Overall, a cheerful, creative, and family-fun movie. If you enjoy musicals, I suggest you go see The Sound of Music, starring the lovely Julie Andrews. She plays Maria, a young woman who is failing miserably in her attempt to become a nun. When Navy Captain George von Trapp of Austria needs a nanny for his 7 children without a mother, she takes the job. Together, they become a family throughout their adventurous musical journeys together. Those are some of the wonderful movies played this weekend. Now back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Hope. Today I will be talking about recent news on the civil rights movement. The controversy of voting rights for African Americans has been going on for a while. Over the summer, nearly 1,000 activists went to Mississippi, most of them white college students, to join with local black activists to register voters and allow them to teach in any school they would want. It has been said that a group called the Ku Klux Klan used beatings, arrests, arson, murder, spying, firing, evictions, and other forms of harassment to oppose civil rights and prevents blacks from registering to vote or achieving social equality. In June, there were 3 blacks murdered by the Ku Klux Klan. The outrage over these murders helped lead to the passage of the Civil Rights Act. Some 17,000 Mississippi blacks attempted to become registered voters in defiance of the red tape and forces of white supremacy against them. Out of 17,000, only 1,600 managed to succeed. On July 2, 1964, President Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, banning discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin in employment practices and public accommodations. Although this was not giving blacks their voting rights, they soon would. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 grew out of both public protest and political negotiation. On August 6, President Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act of 1965. This has provided direct federal action to enable blacks to register and vote. People are behaving differently depending on how you feel about civil rights. On August 11th, a riot breaks out in Watts, an African-American suburb of Los Angeles, California. The officer arrested the man and some of his family members who had arrived at the scene. Rumors and police brutality resulted in 6 days of rioting in Watts. 34 people, mostly African Americans, died during the riot. Property damage amounted to more than $40 million. My sources tell me that this started over a patrolman pulling over a black motorist on suspicion of drunk driving. Neighbors are helping each other by providing food and shelter. What will happen next with the civil rights movement in motion? Thanks for listening. Next time I'll be talking about mothers protesting over their baby's safety.
You got a problem with me?
No!
$72 hair gel. So cute!
I'm sexy and I know it. I'm sexy and I know it. Check it out.
Hey,
Check it out.
wanna go to prom with me?
Yes!
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah. Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Was it hard?
Hello and welcome to The Speak. Today we have very special guest stars, the world famous one and only Beatles.
I'm just gonna stand back here, because...
No, sit,
Hi, Abby. It's an honor to be here.
Thanks, Paul. It's an honor to have you here. I heard your tour went great.
Oh, fantastic. We had 12 concerts. We even made it to Toronto, Canada for a show at Maple Leaf Gardens. It was great.
I saw you at the metropolitan area. What'd you think?
Phenomenal.
Did you make it to any other concerts?
Yes, I also made it to the concert at the Atlanta Stadium.
Glad to hear it.
So I hear that your song 8 Days a Week is number 7 on the charts.
It is, and hopefully songs from our next album will make it up there too.
I hope so too. So let's talk. John, you met Paul at the age of 16 and started a group at your school.
Yes, Paul also introduced me to George. Our original group name was Quarryman.
I remember our first recording.
What's it?
It was Will Be the Day by Buddy Holly.
Sounds great. Well, we have a surprise for our viewers. A couple of baby pictures.
Oh my god.
No. You can't do that right now. That's not good.
No.
Ready? George?
No, look at that now. Just turn around. Turn this way. Isn't that bad?
Ringo!
Oh.
Yikes.
Who gave birth to you?
Hey! Watch it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
John?
Yeah, it's me.
You look really chubby.
Oh, come on, really?
Left
I worked out as a child.
And Paul?
Wasn't that good? Yeah.
No, stop.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Cute baby. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for viewing, and viewing next time for The Look.
Hello, my fellow Americans. Thinking about how you can support your country and stop communism from spreading? Well, then join the U.S. Army today and become the war hero you've always wanted to be.
News story tonight. Inventions sweeping the nation and changing the way we live. After a snowstorm hit on the coast of Lake Michigan, local father Sherman Poppin and his children wanted to go sledding, but couldn't because the sled kept cutting through the snow and hitting the sand. Poppin solved the problem by bolting 2 of his daughter's skis together, and the snow surfer, or snurfer, was born. Surfers are now the newest craze, and children everywhere are riding them. Other new inventions are also rising in popularity. While chemist James Schottler was working on an anti-ulcer drug, he discovered the artificial sweetener aspartame. Schottler accidentally spilled some of this substance when he was recrystallizing ethanol, and noticed that it had a sweet taste when he licked his fingers. The substance will be put into foods and beverages, and is sure to be a great alternative to Americans consuming sugary items. The new board game Operation, which involves performing surgery on a plastic tray, removing pieces with tweezers, was, believe it or not, invented by an Illinois college student. John Spinello made the game as an assignment, and the game was later picked up by Milton Bradley. Parents everywhere are now trying to get their hands on an Operation board game. With all of these new fun and tasty inventions, new ways of entertainment, and even new ways of life are emerging. These inventions, and the new ones being created every day, are sure to last a lifetime.
That's hurtful.
Good evening, America. Tonight on The Look, we will be covering the latest political controversies.
Yes, lately scientists have been talking about the new scientific theory called the Big Bang Theory.
So what is the Big Bang Theory?
Apparently the Big Bang Theory states that the universe was created by an explosion at a single point, and it's been expanding ever since.
So that would explain why the galaxies are moving farther apart.
Exactly.
Who would ever think of that?
Some scientists named Arneno A. Pizza and Robert W. Wilson created the idea.
It's a crazy idea. When would they even think of this insane event? When did it happen?
They believe that it started about 15 to 20 billion years ago.
That's a logical time for it to happen.
Why do they believe the Big Bang even happened?
Some astronomers are religious, and they argue that the theory confirms the existence of God and the basic elements of the creation.
Oh yes, just like the Bible states. First, there was light.
Then the heavens.
Then the Earth.
Even if the Bible does back up the proof of the explosion, that doesn't mean it actually happened. What about the scientists that are not religious?
Yes, very few are actually religious. Scientists go against religion, creating controversies between them.
In all, the universe was idealistically created by an explosion, and the matter of the explosion is still expanding to this day.
Next up, the Vietnam War.
We can't afford to be taken over by communist leaders, now can we?
I agree. Our country is made to be a free land and should stay a free land.
The Truman Doctrine states that we should support any country that's threatened by communism. We have to keep our promise and keep South Vietnam free.
I have a husband, and I have a fear of him being drafted. He's a businessman and would not survive in mucky Vietnam.
But if we do not fight, who will?
I don't care. Innocent people are being ripped from their homes and shipped to be slaughtered in a foreign country.
We, as a country, need to stay supportive of the troops and supportive of the promise.
I agree. Communism needs to be contained.
Well, last topic tonight is African American rights. Our Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, was built on the phrase, all men are created equal. But are we really following it?
Exactly. Why should African American men be taken out of this principle?
Well, our country was technically founded and made by free white men, and only for white men. African Americans did nothing to help us, therefore they should not have equal rights.
I disagree. The government should accept anyone, no matter their race, shape, and color. Anyway, it looks like we're out of time.
Well, I know there will be a lot more topics in the future to talk about, so join us next time on America on the Look. Thanks for watching.